Page 27. The Big Bang Never Happened, Eric J. Lerner, 1991. Part 1. The Cosmological Debate. Chapter 1. The Big Bang Never Happened. 1.1. It's impossible that the Big Bang is wrong. A. Joseph Silk, 1988. Down with the Big Bang. A editorial titled, Nature, 1989. Cosmologists nearly all agree that the cosmos came into being some 10 or 20 billion years ago in an immense explosion, the Big Bang. Our mighty universe, they believe, began in a single instant as an infinitely dense and hot point-like ball of light, smaller than the tiniest atom. In 1/1,000,000,000th of a second it expanded a trillion-trillionfold, creating all the space, matter, and energy that now make up the galaxies and stars. The present universe, the ashes of that explosion, is a strange one, as cosmology describes it. Most of it is dark matter, exotic particles that can never be observed. It is dotted by black holes, which suck in streams of dying stars, and it is threaded by cosmic strings, tears in the fabric of space itself. Our universe's future, cosmologists tell us, is grim. It is doomed either to end in a spectacular big crunch, collapsing into a universal black hole, or to expand and decay into the nothingness of an eternal night. This striking cosmic vision, built up over the past 25 years by hundreds of theoreticians and explained in dozens of books, has sunk deeply into popular consciousness. Many have pondered what meaning life can have in a universe doomed to decay, unspeakably hostile and alien to human purposes. Without doubt, the current concept of the universe is fantastic and bizarre. Yet despite the efforts and firm beliefs of so many cosmologists, it is also almost certainly wrong. The validity of a scientific concept is not determined by its popularity or by its support among the most prominent scientists of the day. Many a firmly held doctrine, from the geocentric cosmos of Ptolemy to the phlogistic theory of heat, has enjoyed the nearly unanimous support of the scientific community, only to be swept away later. In 1889 Samuel Pierpont Langley, a famed astronomer, president of the American Association for the Advancement of Science, and soon to be one of the pioneers of aviation, described the scientific community as a pack of hounds, a broken bar where the louder-voiced bring many to follow them nearly as often in a wrong path as in a right one, where the entire pack even has been known to move off bodily on a false scent. The only test of scientific truth is how well a theory corresponds to the world we observe. Does it predict things that we can then see? Or do our observations of nature show things that a theory says are impossible? No matter how well-liked a theory may be, if observation contradicts it, then it must be rejected. For science to be useful, it must provide an increasingly true and deep description of nature, not a prescription of what nature must be. In the past 4 years crucial observations have flatly contradicted the assumptions and predictions of the Big Bang. Because the Big Bang supposedly occurred only about 20 billion years ago, nothing in the cosmos can be older than this. Yet in 1986 astronomers discovered that galaxies compose huge agglomerations a billion light-years across. Such mammoth clusterings of matter must have taken 100 billion years to form. Just as early geological theory, which sought to compress the Earth's history into a biblical few thousand years, crumbled when confronted with the eons needed to build up a mountain range, so the concept of a Big Bang is undermined by the existence of these vast and ancient superclusters of galaxies. These enormous ribbons of matter, whose reality was confirmed during 1990, also refute a basic premise of the Big Bang, that the universe was, at its origin, perfectly smooth and homogeneous. Theorists admit that they can see no way to get from the perfect universe of the Big Bang to the clumpy, imperfect universe of today. As one leading theorist, George Field of the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, put it, there is a real crisis. Other conflicts with observation have emerged as well. Dark matter, a hypothetical and unobserved form of matter, is an essential component of current Big Bang theory, an invisible glue that holds it all together. Yet Finnish and American astronomers, analyzing recent observations, have shown that the mysterious dark matter isn't invisible, it doesn't exist. Using sensitive new instruments, other astronomers around the world have discovered extremely old galaxies that apparently formed long before the Big Bang universe could have cooled sufficiently. In fact, by the end of the 80s, new contradictions were popping up every few months. In all this, cosmologists have remained entirely unshakable in their acceptance of the theory. Many of the new observations have been announced in the most prominent journals and discussed at the biggest astronomers' meetings. In some cases, the observers are among the most respected astronomers in the world. Nonetheless, cosmologists, with few exceptions, have either dismissed the observations as faulty, or have insisted that minor modifications of Big Bang theory will reconcile apparent contradictions. A few cosmic strings or dark particles are needed, nothing more. This response is not surprising. Most cosmologists have spent all of their careers, or at least the past 25 years, elaborating various aspects of the Big Bang. It would be very difficult for them, as for any scientist, to abandon their life's work. Yet the observers who bring forward these contradictions are also not at all ready to give up the Big Bang. Observing astronomers have generally left the interpretation of data to the far more numerous theoreticians. And until recently there seemed to be no viable alternative to the Big Bang, nowhere to go if you jumped ship. But now an entirely different concept of the universe has developed, although it is not yet known to many astronomers. It begins from the known fact that over 99% of the matter in the universe is plasma, hot, electrically conducting gases. In ordinary gases, electrons are bound to an atom and cannot move easily, but in a plasma the electrons are stripped off by intense heat, allowing them to flow freely. Extrapolating from the behavior of such plasma in the laboratory, plasma cosmologists envision a universe crisscrossed by vast electrical currents and powerful magnetic fields, ordered by the cosmic counterpoint of electromagnetism and gravity. The phenomena that the Big Bang seeks to explain with a mysterious ancient cataclysm, plasma theories attribute to electrical and magnetic processes occurring in the universe today. These are similar in kind, if not magnitude, to processes seen in the laboratory and used in such mundane technology as neon lights and microwave ovens. Instead of working forward from a theoretically conceived beginning of time, plasma cosmology works backward from the present universe, and outward from the Earth. It arrives at a universe without a Big Bang, without any beginning at all, a universe that has always existed, is always evolving, and will always evolve, with no limits of any sort. As yet, plasma cosmology has attracted only a little attention among astronomers, in part because it was formulated by plasma physicists, who attend different conferences and publish in different journals. This situation is rapidly changing. As more contradictions of the Big Bang emerge, some astronomers, in particular observers with little investment in a single theory, have begun to look with interest at the new ideas. They are starting to ask questions and tentatively to measure the old and new cosmologies against each other. No longer is the Big Bang unquestioningly accepted by leading journals outside of cosmology. The widely read British journal Nature, for example, in August of 1988 ran a lead editorial entitled Down with the Big Bang, which described the theory as unacceptable and predicted that it is unlikely to survive the decade ahead. A new cosmological debate has begun. Page 31.